Allah will not have mercy on him or on her. To have mercy on our children is to build a relationship between us and them. Is to try and do for them what they want, and us ask them to do for us what we want. When it's come for the deen, there should be no negotiation, and there should be no forward or backward, but to go with the Quran and Sunnah. However, in some situations, there will be scenarios where when I want my daughter to be like Fatima, it doesn't happen overnight. When I want my son to be like Omar, it doesn't happen overnight. He or she will have to learn that from me. If I don't have any good attitude, any good manners, where will she learn that from? Let's be honest with one another. Where will they learn that from? We know our daughters and our sons, if they are at school, they spend more time at school than they spend with their parents. If the basic Islamic knowledge is not embedded in them at home, do you think they will get that at school? No. We have to consider the peer pressure on them. We have to consider today's technology. We have to consider all that. He or she would like to be accepted by his colleague. They have to do what they do, and they have to act how they act. If that is against the teachings of Islam, from homes and from, and yet sometimes not sometimes, always, we need to be asking our sons and our daughters, how was your class today? What was your last subject? What did your teacher say about your homework? The moment we start locking our cell phones and putting in pins and then hiding it and then requesting our sons and our daughters to see and access theirs, we need to wait and hear reaction from them. Show me yours, I show you mine. If there is no trust, they will never let that happen. Why? Because if they don't trust us anything, they will not tell us who their friends are, what they do, where they go, what they do discuss among themselves. There's a saying in Arabic, قُلْ لِمَنْ تُصَاحِبْ أَقُلْ لَكَ مَنْ أَنْتَ. Tell me who your friends are, I will describe you. You don't need to tell me what do you do or who you are. Just tell me who your friends are, who your colleagues are, and then I'll be able to describe you. We all know friends and colleagues, they will be there. Our sons and our daughters are doing as they do. But if they are in trouble or they are caught, they will be the first to leave them alone, and they will be first to report them to the authorities. And then we get shocked. Was he or she doing this? I've never seen this coming. Not in my house. That sometimes when I'm in the sitting room, like mouse and cat, they'll never be at the same place. Something is wrong, either from the parent or from the children. And many times, there will be fault from the children, but also major fault from the parent. Why do we think sons and or daughters doesn't want to get married? because they are getting it haram way. Why do we think marriages between young ones are so easy to be breaking up? When it is not there, it is deemed to fail. Sometimes people might say, he's 27 or he's 30, he doesn't need my advice. No. A son, no matter how old he is, or a daughter, no matter if she's 80, 40, if her mother or parents are alive until they part this dunya. In the Quran, we see when Ibrahim, Yaqub, all of them, who do you worship after me? Luqman, he gave his sons a very good advice, because he was a disbeliever. Today's sons and daughters, the only thing they want is just to read on your lips, I don't want you in this house, to move out. What they will say? I'll go to the friends, I'll go to the authorities, they will provide me everything I want. And what they do not realize, the moment they hit young adult age, they are on their own. If all these past years they've been with the bad people, do you think overnight they will change and come and do tawbah and start praying 5 times in the masjid? No. In fact, they will be cutting all contact with parents and then putting the blame on the parent, not to themselves. They'll be saying, but he was my father, she was my mother. Why did they kick me out? Why my mom didn't do anything? Why my father didn't do anything? Why and why and why? All this after it is too late. Too late. But one thing we have to realize, it will never be late to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, the story of the Anbiya, wherever they mention about children, they supplicate for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them blessed children. Whenever they talk about their sons or daughters, they supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them blessed children and blessed sons and daughters and offspring. Why? We see them, they have, and if our future does not have a standard Islamically or a single dot to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then our future, Allahul Musta'an. Brothers and sisters, we need to understand, when we discipline our children, sometimes it might leave a mark on the body. They might forget that. But when we say to them, you will never pass your exam, you will never memorize this surah, you will never be a good driver, it goes to their heads, psychologically it affects them. The moment they start driving, my mom, my dad said, I'll never be a good driver. Then they start to shake. And then I can't drive with the shoes, I have to pull the shoes. The moment we judge them, and you'll never memorize this surah, the moment they start memorizing that surah, no, I don't think I'll be able to memorize this because my mom or my dad said so. I'll never pass my exam, I'll never achieve because my mom and my dad have condemned me to failure. Within ourselves, do we want our children to fail? Of course, no. Within ourselves, if there is a fire in our homes, if they are asleep, we make sure that we are the last. If that is the case for the dunya, how about for the akhirah? How about for the akhirah? For the akhirah, we don't want them to end up in the hellfire. We want them to cross the sirat like a lightning tender. We are to make our relationship with them according to the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we are to ensure that all their needs are met. The needs have to be differentiated between needs and wants. Wanting is something else. Needs is something else. The needs first have to be deen, and then a good shelter, and then being fed, and then being dressed. Sometimes where some parents they go wrong. Look at so and so. He is at work, he does that. Do they know where this person is getting that money from? Is he getting it out of tiny houses? Is he getting it out of haram? No. To push our children to achieve, we need to be there with them. They take one step, we take two. Why we take two? So that if they are to go and cross the line, we can say, hey, come back. But if that step is not there with them, they'll be going and crossing the bridge and drowning. By the time we start to cry, it is too late. We all are aware of many stories. Many of the youth are in jail currently. For reason, parents are shocked because they were not aware that their children were dealing with drugs. They are in the jail and parents are shocked because they were not aware that their children were involved with the gangs, are gang members. They are there and parents are shocked because it never came to their knowledge, or they never knew that their sons or daughters were involved in burglaries. All this is happening. You want to know it? Go to the courts and enter the courts and have a seat and listen and see the names that are called. To be able to bring up sons and daughters that one can look up to and be proud of, the basic teachings of Islam have to start from home. And that will never start without love and care. And there will be no love and care without trust. And if there is no trust, no matter how you tell them about what Allah said and how you tell them about what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they will always go back to the friends or to the colleagues that they do trust. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us guided. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep our children's daughters and sons safe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep shaitan away from them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save them from evil eyes. Any question around the topic? I'm sorry if I have taken more than 20 minutes. I was told not to exceed 20 minutes. Jazakumullah khairan. Any question? Yeah? Barakallah fi. Jazakallah khairan.
She has highlighted and enlightened a very important issue, because I'm also working with Shaykh. I just want to say a few things in the broad points. Shaykh highlighted about the cartoons. Most of the cartoons in the modern world has been, they're designed by the Jewish companies, the Zionists. The question was asked that are the Jewish children allowed to watch the cartoons? The answer is no. They produce the cartoons to instruct the non-Jewish children of this world. And the Jewish children are, before they marry, he should prove his excellence, academically or financially or IT or whatever way, before he hold the girl or the Jewish girl, because the Jewish community is given the marriage between the boy and girl among that community, unless there are some exceptions. So we need to be very careful that how much the Jewish companies are protecting their communities, protecting their children, but they are promoting these cartoons to non-Jewish community children of this world. Number two, Shaykh has highlighted about the drugs abuse. I know, unfortunately, it is very sad to say that our Muslim children, the schools are using cannabis, marijuana, and the substance, all other drugs. And if the child is at the age of 16 and above, and privacy in the Nigerian social policy and law, it allows them to keep the information strictly confidential, private. The principal or the school nurse or the teachers will not release the information to the parents or your caregivers unless until your child, your son, your daughter give the consent to release the information. We are working in the system, we have the access to get it into the system, but we are legally bound to not release the information. Otherwise, I will be in jail. That is the law of the land. So it is very sad. So as Shaykh said that, you need to build a very strong relationship to show love, affection, trust. You must be the first father and the mom that your child will come and relate to you. You should not be the last mom or dad. My daughter, my son should trust me first. So brothers and sisters, this is a bit of awareness for all of us. It's a bit of alert also. And last incident, there are some girls, they have issues. And you know the same thing. If they have some sort of immoral activities in the schools, if they are at the age of 16 and above, it will be kept everything under carpet. The girl came with the boy, he said, the Shaykh, I want to do the nikah. We normally do that track, we don't do the nikah immediately. We take our time to, go and check whether she's married or the divorce, if there are any issues in overseas, who is the father, who is the parent, who is the guardian, what is the background. This is one example. One girl, the parents are very rich, very popular in Australia. They'll be able to get hold of them through our own network. And the girl said that I don't have any contact with my mother. Very religious people, very good people. They are crying over there in Australia when our imams are speaking over there. After a few days, we will be able to do the nikah. But brothers and sisters, imagine the situation. What's happening here? We are not having the property, no establishment. Why we can't look after our children properly? I got a girl. So he said, Rasulullah said that if you look after a girl, nurture her, give her education, give her proper nikah, you will be in Jannah. So there are 3 girls. Then another Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, I got, the 2 girls. Another Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, I got 1 girl. Rasulullah guaranteed the bashar of Jannah. So these are blessing, brothers and sisters. So we need to look after our children, especially the universities, schools, colleges. And as Shaykh said, peer pressure. Make sure, your children are okay, right? And I think I covered. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Brothers and sisters, Brother Tanzil have got a ticket for fundraising for Masjid Salam. Please, if you are interested, get in touch with him. Jazakumullah khairan.